Jason Sanders now to get this one started, and we are underway from Arrowhead. And he returns this to the 22. So here are the Chiefs now coming out for their opening drive. And led out by their veteran quarterback. He's been around a while. They don't celebrate birthdays for him. They just cut him up, see how many rings he's got around the middle. He has been in the league a long time.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now, because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up third.
2 plays so far, a run and a pass attempt, and both have gone backwards.
Probably not how they drew that up.
Not at all.
Looking for a better play coming up on third. I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Mahomes now to throw. And going deep for Hill. Here's a diving catch right side. Mahomes finding Hill for a big play. And even 40 yards. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. What, does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup. The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. The throw out wide going to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Throw left side complete. That's Charles. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved. Just as you said, they want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
And he'll find Hall.
And a nice job to break free of 1 tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after.
They'll wind up getting just a yard. And it'll be 4th down. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive.
On is the punter, Townsend, as he gets this one away.
And this one hits at the 3 and then bounds into the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. And leading them out, their signal caller, now in his 4th season in the NFL.
Every quarterback in the NFL has a little bit of his own signature style out there, but for this guy, he really plays the game in a different way. It's led to a couple double takes from us up here as we see him as something truly unique. It's not that he's just the strongest passer or the best athlete to ever play the position. He just has a certain way of seeing the action, and it allows him to make some special plays out there.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
When coaches stress their defense being physical, they don't just mean the big guys. How about the guys on the outside, the cornerbacks? It's not just their job to patrol the airspace. They can get involved in the run game as well.
Williams going to get it again on 2nd down.
5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves them with third and about 6 yards to go.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
Here's 3rd and 6.
Marino sets up.
Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted.
And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, certainly not his best throw that time, and not a good time to make it, Charles, when they were a nickel with 5 defensive backs on the field.
And that's exactly why you have those 5 DBs out there. You want extra speed on the field, guys who have ball skills and understand what the passing game can do. It gives them a chance to react and make a play on the football, and they take one of those away.
So after the INT, here's Mahomes. Pitch and catch here to Travis Kelce. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Another pass into the reliable hands of Kelce.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's another first down as they look his way again, this time 19 yards.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
They go play action. Now Mahomes. Blitz coming, and down he goes. It'll go as a loss of 8 and a tough result there on 1st and goal.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on 1st and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
They'll try again on 2nd and goal after going backwards to the 12. They run over center with Charles. Showed off the toughness, but still corralled shy of the 5 at the 6. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Here's Mahomes, 3rd and goal. Back in the end zone. Could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
So on 4th down, Andy Reid decides to send in the field goal unit. This is an easy one, 23-yarder. And this one is right through. And the Chiefs are out to a 3-0 lead.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So Miami coming out for their second drive.
Their second drive here, the ballgame, Charles. Remember last time they threw the interception, but the defense held up. It bent a little but didn't break, only giving up the 3 points.
Yeah, obviously they left some points on the table there their last time out, but boy, they have to thank their defense for holding the opposition just 3 after they threw the pick. Their turn now. Back out on the field, put together a good drive, and get some points of their own.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. To throw is Marino. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Well, that was his first target of the game, and it's going to take at least one more target to get him on the board. Took a nice substantial hit to jar that catch loose from him. Incomplete pass.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Now Marino to throw it. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down. They needed 5 there on 3rd down. He winds up getting 7.
I'm not sure that that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
Marino's throw taken in here by Jackson. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running.
Oh, and his early struggles continue. Here's another one intercepted. Then they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
Partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack, because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd and manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
They go play fake. Mahomes. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Well, a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17. Mahomes going to throw. Open man is Hill. He's got it. They wind up getting 16, but even that's not quite enough. It's 4th down.
And I believe that that gain on 3rd and long changes things quite a bit, because this would be a very long field goal. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it here.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This will be from 56 yards out. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one, as it's good from 56 yards out. And that will make it 6-0. Well, they're able to come away with the interception, Charles. They aren't able to move the ball all that much. However, they do get 3 out of it with a field goal.
Yeah, and anytime you do force a turnover, you have to come out of it with points. Everybody wants 6. They'll take the 3 there. Now it's their opportunity to do it again.
Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Their quarterback leading this offense back out. And he's been loose with the football early. Interceptions on the first couple of drives. As they start again here, we'll see if he can do better. 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
I'd say it's pretty good strategy. If you throw interceptions on back-to-back drives, let's see if the running backs can handle the ball a little bit, get things going. And also, you motivate your offensive line. I think they're in the mood to fire out and hit someone.
I thought the defense, though, might be a little more prepared for that run. Pretty good gain on the ground. Williams going to get it again on 2nd down. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a third and very short.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Fourth down now after a loss of 2.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. Fielded just inside the 20. That'll be a 50-yard punt with 8 on the return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. And now here comes Kansas City. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, booted a long field goal to at least get them 3. Now here they'll try to do better and find the end zone.
And in our experience, how much fun is it for coaches to know that they've got a kicker who can nail it from long distance? Now the hard part is, as an offensive play caller, you don't want that in your head too much where you're relying on it, and he goes out and gets the job done for them. But I'm quite sure he would be content to just kick extra points from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely no question. I think his teammates would be okay with him just kicking the extra points as well. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. Short yardage situation. Here's Charles. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This would be a critical call.
On 4th down, Tommy Townsend to punt for Kansas City. Fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 15-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. Miami's offense set and ready to go. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. Marino's incompletion on first down leads to 2nd and 10. Up the middle, it's Williams. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down. Six nothing our score after 1. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the 2nd quarter. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. Marino will throw. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the first down sack.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Here's Marino. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
That was not a real confidence He's just 2 of 7 to start the game. Now he's going to have to find a groove with a big third down coming up. Let's see if his confidence can increase.
The offense on third down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and a mile. Now it's Marino. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
1st down, Marino. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, it certainly looked to me like he tapped into the quarterback's thought process there. What I'm hearing more and more when I go around the league, defenders sitting in on quarterback meetings trying to learn more about how they think so they can be in the right position to be in the right spot, as he was there to pick that one off and take it all the way back for a touchdown.
Extra point forthcoming. And he's got it to make it now 13-0. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Dolphins ready to take over on offense. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, oh, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone. Well, there's no disputing. He's made some poor throws in this first half, but this was a good one. And you can bet this is an offense that isn't going to pull back. They believe in what he can do. So all you can do is look forward, and they pick up a 1st down.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Here's Marino to throw. He finds his man complete. And now a fumble. The ball's out. Oh, one of the linebackers has got it. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. A lot of talk this week about ball security. In fact, they added an extra period in practice to be more secure with the ball. It didn't work out there.
Well, sometimes you just get overexcited during the game. You may all of a sudden make your catch, see some open field, and decide you're going for it. And not realizing the danger lurks while you're doing so. And there's your end result right there.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Marino now off the bootleg. Bringing it in, Jackson left side.
And he is going to have the Dolphins first down. At least it appears that way. And he got it by maybe the length of a football.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route. But he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
Now a first down carry. It's Williams. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them. And boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's the 2nd and 8. From midfield now, Marino. Looking middle, and that's complete. Will go down as a gain of 6. And now that sets up 3rd and 2. Well, that's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 32-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Marino. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
And the Chiefs are going to get him. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss. And this offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
This offense 2 for 2 on 3rd downs on this drive. They're in for a tough test here, though. 3rd and long. Now Marino. And that is incomplete. So 2 3rd down conversions on this drive, but not able to get a 3rd, and now they deal with 4th down. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
KC's offense ready to take over. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. On play action, it's Mahomes. He's going up top for Taylor. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Thus far, they have been able to move the line of scrimmage very well in the running game. Almost felt like they said in the huddle, can you guys pass protect? Let's take a big shot downfield. Didn't get it on that one, but they may come back to it again.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. Now throw on the run, but that's going to be incomplete.
Yeah, that's a nice job there defensively to blanket those receivers on 3rd down. And as a quarterback, all you can do is just loft one toward the bench. Not too close, mind you, and live to punt the football.
Here's Tommy Townsend now as he's on to punt for Kansas City.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10. Miami set to take over.
And they had a long drive going last time, but it stalled out. But still, maybe something positive to carry forward from that last drive.
Well, a few different things that you carry forward. Number one, as you noted, they were moving it pretty well, so that gives them a lot of confidence. The second part is, keeps your defense off the field, gives them a chance to rest up a little bit. And last but not least, you've taken a good look at what you've done on offense, noted where the weaknesses are, and you know when you want to come back to them.
Like when you're organized with your points. Well
Point
done.
A, B, and C.
From the 28, it's 2nd and 5.
Marino on play action. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Right up to that point, I was about to say he's had a pretty good half catching the football, but let's just be honest about it. He should have caught that one.
And he knows that. That was one right in his breadbasket and one he normally catches. From the gun on 3rd down is Marino.
Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. To throw again is Marino. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Marino's incompletion on 1st down leads to 2nd and 10. Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles, rolling the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something.
Now Marino coughs it up. He lost the football.
Oh, one of the linebackers has got it.
And they will take over at the 26-yard line.
That's a down and distance coaches always talk about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long, and you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him, sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did, yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
Now after the fumble recovery, it's Mahomes. Short throw hauled in by Kelsey. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1.
Now Mahomes.
Another pass into the reliable hands of Kelsey.
That'll put him at an even 50 receiving yards now in this first half. And it's a 1st down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. He finds his man, complete. That's Gonzalez. So the completion gets him just a yard, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
2nd and 9.
And again, it's Mahomes. This is caught by Hill for a Chiefs touchdown. An 11-yard touchdown.
And the Chiefs are able to stretch out their lead.
They went empty backfield, all their weapons out wide, so there really was no secret here to what they were going to do.
No secret, but they still had to execute it, and they still had to protect the guy throwing the ball, because oftentimes when you empty the backfield, people bring pressure at you. They managed to hold in there and successfully complete the touchdown pass.
Now the try here for the point after. And that one pushes the lead up to an even 20. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard.
The ball comes out, and this is going to get out of bounds, so they will gain a bit of yardage on the play, actually, and they'll hold on to the football as well.
Offensively, they're just not playing a very clean football game right now. This deficit, there's a fumble. Good news for them, at least. That went out of bounds.
You're exactly right, and as they breathe a sigh of relief, you know they're looking at the scoreboard, thinking to themselves, if we turn it over there, things could really get rough for us trying to make a comeback in this game.
And Marino cannot get away. He goes down. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Tyrann Mathieu, normally known for the pass coverage, this time a sack.
Well, someone is certainly having a big game, but while that sack doesn't quite have the splash of his pick six from earlier, you know he's thrilled to be making big plays during a great individual effort today.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line.
Out is their quarterback with this offense to take over once more. He threw a touchdown pass last time they had it, and he'll look to get him in the end zone again here as they start with the 1st down.
Here's Mahomes to throw. Screen pass to Charles. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them, maybe to slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
Play action. Now it's Mahomes. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 8. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
So much of this game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
Here's Tommy Townsend on to punt.
Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback.
Miami's offense set and ready to go.
And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot
position.
more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. Now Marino to throw it. And he's got it. Got his man on the end round. Complete. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Marino, 3rd and 1. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he gets this up to the 34, out of bounds there. Give him the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
Now Marino on 1st down. He dumps off to Morris. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Marino looks to toss it again. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain.
Well, he looked his way quite a bit in this first half, and with good reason. You can see it there. He is such a handful defensively, just too hard to keep him under wraps, and delivers a big play here for this offense.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Marino sets up. Over the middle into traffic, and that's complete. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. Second and 5. Again, it's Marino. It's caught by Jackson. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout, and they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
Let's ride, dog. It's showtime, baby. Let's go, boy.
This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Marino will throw. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Well, this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
The kick by Sanders is good, and the Dolphins are going to be forced to settle for 3.
Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing it to break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board, give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
So still time for the kickoff here. 1 second to go in the half as this one is away. So we've come upon halftime here in Arrowhead with the Chiefs on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And he's got to be wondering what happened in that first half. 3 interceptions, very uncharacteristic.
And even the great ones go through phases like this, like what we just saw. And most of them, they have such a mental capacity to throw it out and essentially start over. I think that's where he's headed now.
He's got his opportunity to throw it out. Let's see how he does. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later. And let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll leave them with 3rd and a full yard to go.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Play fake. Here's Marino. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a first down. Instead, it's 4th.
Well, if they have any designs of getting back into this football game in the second half, they're going to need to be much sharper offensively than they were on this opening possession. Not much happening here, and it'll lead to a 4th down.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. This is taken at the 15. Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. Mahomes now on first down. They complete it to Hill. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be second down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They go play fake. Mahomes. Pitch and catch here to Travis Kelce. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing, playing against a good quarterback like he is, to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Give him 15 yards on that one. Kansas City has a first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. They'll get this out wide to Taylor. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
So that flag obviously takes away the good yardage that they had on the play.
And talk about a momentum shift, because we can visibly see this celebration shifting from one side of the field to the other as soon as everyone saw the flag.
So 8 yards on the completion there, and that will bring up 2nd down. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. To the right side, complete to Taylor. And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 36. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. On play action, it's Mahomes. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another 1st down.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. They'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. He got 29 yards that time.
And time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, be able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
Now it's Mahomes again. And he's got it. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds, right at the 3. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal. Now here's Mahomes. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Now Mahomes, and now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. That's going to bring up 4th down, only a gain of 2 there.
Well, there certainly was a lot going on that play. Every option in the end zone covered. No place to go with the ball. Had to swing it out to the back. A good job running and getting him tackled in the open field.
And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
So 3 more points tacked on, and this margin getting more comfortable by the minute.
And with the lead where it is, you can actually feel good about field goals. We talk all the time about scoring 6s, not 3s. But in this case, they're just looking to chew up some time and come away with points.
Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Then the Dolphins getting set to go here.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Marino. Right side caught by Jackson. It'll be a gain of just a yard, and that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. To throw is Marino. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now a handoff. Here's Williams. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. On 2nd down, Marino. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
At this point in the game, in the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now it's Marino. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the 3rd quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The Chiefs ready to rock again on offense. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added on to their lead, but that was a drive that was so long it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game, but we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive, and he's going to profess that he was happy to get points, and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, after this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment. Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. They go up the middle with Jamal Charles. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and 3. Mahomes now to throw. To the right side, it's Kelsey. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
A first down carry here for Charles. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4.
They'll keep it on the ground with Charles again. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. Another 6-yard carry, same as last play. First down.
Well, they've certainly been successful throwing it around in this game, and that's allowed them to move the ball on offense. But I've got to tell you, to watch them run the football and successfully, I'm not taking sides, but to see the ball in a running back's hands, oh, that's football for me.
Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the chief linemen might have moved. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Mahomes going to throw. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. They'll run from the gun with Charles. That'll get them some of what they needed, but they're still left here with a 3rd and 9 forthcoming.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. To throw, it's Mahomes.
Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
Nice call by the defense there on 3rd down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
So on 4th down, Andy Reid decides to send in the field goal unit. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through, and that will extend their lead even further. So making 4 out of 4 now in the field goal department, and he's able to extend their lead.
When drives are bogged down, he's been automatic out there. So nice to have a kicker you can count on to put points on the board.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. The busy night continues for Williams. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
50 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a first down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Again, it's Williams.
To the 43, 2nd down.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. We're back now in KC. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Now Marino looking to throw on 2nd down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll leave them with a 3rd and just a yard. You got the big lead defensively, willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
On third down, here's Williams. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
That throw by Marino incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Marino's incompletion on first down leads to 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
They go back to the ground with Williams. And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the first down, close it out.
Here we go with Williams. And the surge is going to be too much defensively. He's hit and taken down in the backfield. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down. And the Chiefs' defense comes up with a stop.
Partner, when you see a running play stop short like that, you just know that the defensive front, they won the battle of leverage and created a push back into the opposing backfield.
And for the offensive coordinator, whether you had 1 yard to go or 20 yards to go on 4th down, now you're probably saying, oh, maybe I should have passed it, right?
Yeah, hindsight is always 20/20.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And it'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
Oh, man, that wasn't far from breaking in a big way into the secondary. Read option, quarterback kept it, and while he didn't get a first down, he did get a nice chunk of yardage. Only a nice tackle prevented it from maybe going all the way.
Here's a 2nd and 5.
On the counter, it's Charles.
On a determined run there as he's going to take this all the way down near the 40.
They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they're powering through, and they're controlling this game.
And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces, and I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll find Hall. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. That good for 19 yards as they pick up the conversion on 3rd.
Now that's a big pickup right there, and so often we focus on how the quarterback's faking on play action. How about everyone being in on the deal and picking it up?
2nd, 3rd levels, you could see them trying to recover. They bit. Worked out offensively. On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Partner, you and I have struggled with this for years. You've got the lead. Just take care of the football and burn some of that clock. But there's something to be said for not taking your foot off the gas as well, because you can never have too big of a cushion. That one, though, falls incomplete.
They fake the give. Now Mahomes. He finds his man. Complete. It's Gonzalez. And out of bounds right around the 20. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
The Chiefs on 3rd down. Just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 7. Now Mahomes. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach, and maybe you and I should attend that press conference and see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier, and he wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up, but he certainly will have some explaining to do.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And out come the Dolphins now. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Now, meanwhile, Marino with the incomplete pass. It was knocked away.
Give them credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
On 3rd down, Marino able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a 1st down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline, because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants this lead to stay right where it is.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and that'll bring up 2nd down. To throw again is Marino. Finding Williams once more, complete. So the completion good for just 3. And now 2 yards to go on 3rd down. Here's Marino. Screenplay set up for Williams. And he is going to have the Dolphins 1st down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2.
For as many sacks as this defense has, you can understand their willingness to try and get upfield and get another. So what a really smart play call here to use their aggression against them, go with the screen, and they're able to get the 1st down.
Marino sets up. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Marino's incompletion on first down leads to 2nd and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. And he's got his favorite target yet again. It's complete.
And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this.
And they've got another 1st and 10 as the penalty keeps this drive moving. Here's Marino to throw. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception.
Picked up by Nick Bolton. And the Chiefs are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line.
This time in the 4th quarter with that deficit, had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. 2nd down coming up.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Ball at the 26, 2nd and 7.
They'll keep it on the ground. This time to Charles.
He'll get a yard. That's all as they get him down at the 28.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up.
3rd down and 6.
Again, it's Charles. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks.
58 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
I know we're in the era of wide-open football, a lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football, and we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and, you know, late in this game, he wants the football in his hands. He's had a good day. They run over center with Charles.
And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield.
That goes for a Chiefs 1st down, 14 yards.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Now 2nd and 5.
They'll give up the middle to Johnson. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes.
And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there, and now 4th down. A CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
1st down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, The second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Two yards to go, second down.
Now Marino to throw it. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Marino. Throwing the out route and complete. That's Jackson. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. On 2nd down, here's Marino. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know. What do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show.
And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. The safety blitz turns out to be a great call defensively as they sack him for a loss of 9.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack. Just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
No choice but to go. Here's 4th down now.
They'll try and throw for it with Marino. And it's knocked away and incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Chiefs will have the football back in excellent field position. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
It'll be Charles again. He has been the workhorse tonight. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. So this one in the win column for Kansas City. It was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think they thought at all that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com.
The Chiefs victorious here as we say so long from Kansas City.